created an agent. It writes the script so it can go out and we can find what's viral or what's the most viewed videos on YouTube in a specific category, right? And it can rewrite a script in our brand voice. It can generate the voiceover, edit the video, add it to our avatar, and post on whatever platform that we want, right? So I'll show you just this really quick. You add a link to a Google document. It pulls the latest media. Perplexity determines, okay, let me see how I can break this down, sends it over to the social media hosting agent. That agent will determine, is it going to LinkedIn, Medium, Facebook, X, or Slack? These are interchangeable. They could be, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, Pinterest, right? Doesn't matter. All that stuff's interchangeable. Point is, this stuff is happening automatically. So instead of us making videos and spending time and editing now, what we're doing is we're taking a script, we're putting it into our prompt that that spits it out in the voice that we speak, and then it's creating a video autonomously and posting it on our behalf. So think about this for lead generation. Before, people were like, oh, I don't do organic lead generation. I don't want to do YouTube. I don't want to do this and that, right? Because they don't want to get on camera. How about businesses in the real world, like plumbing companies, roofing companies, general contractors that have all these videos on their phone and aren't doing nothing? Companies that would really never make content, now you can just have a clone of their voice. Don't even have to show their face. Show their work posted on YouTube autonomously. Don't even have to do it yourself, This is saving, it's saving us 20 hours a week, and it's putting us in a position where we're creating content where we wouldn't before because we just don't have the time. But it's also increasing our output and what we're able to do. And my big theory about AI is it has to get good so we can keep up with inflation. We as a nation, bro, we have got to figure out how to produce more, right, in order to keep up with inflation. That's what I think AI is going to help us do, because we're going to be able to do in 50, 60, days what used to take 50, 60 years. Okay. So that's just one agent autonomously creates content. You can think out of the box with this. It doesn't just have to be for YouTube. It can be for training videos. It could be, you could send personalized videos to your e-commerce customers. If you're e-commerce business and you have a list of your best customers, you can send autonomous personal videos, personal product recommendations, right? You can do, if you're selling this to an enterprise business, you can go out and they can use this for their training videos. There's a lot of different use cases for this, right? Another example of some agents are the agents that sit inside the CRM. So now everybody knows about the voice dialers, and the voice dialers were just, in the beginning, they were almost like a voice chat bot, but now you can attach a voice to an agent. This is where the game changes, because now the agent can go into the pipeline. It can audit. You can have one agent that just does inbound leads. So any lead that comes in, it handles the lead scoring. It can automatically reach out to them on the phone, send them text messages, do all this stuff. But think about it. It's not just an automation. It's making personalized stuff. It's doing research on this person and then going out and sending these emails that are personalized. When it's talking to the lead on the phone, has the knowledge to understand. Right? So it's not just like these automations that we used to have. Now we're dropping like a human, but it's an agent inside of there. Or you could just have customer service agents. This is where a lot of people are sleeping, because companies like Klarna, who've already paved the way for this, this is where they made the most of their the biggest cut in their revenue. Right? It's like, okay, you install this into somebody's business, it learns and gets better from each interaction. And if it messes up in one interaction, or it has a case that it's dealt with in the past, it can learn and get better from that use case. And so this is kind of what that would look like here. And the beautiful thing about these agents is they're templatized. You could take this, our client, like we give these to our clients, they just install them into their process. Our developer will take care of all the API stuff, and then you can sell these things, right? So, harsh truth of why you need to act right now. The reality is
I was like, what the fuck's going on with my mic? I was talking. I was like,
go
back to the content thing for 1 sec. I'm gonna drop. So if you guys didn't see the one that we did, I don't know I think it was 2 weeks ago. But
Yeah, you want to drop it.
we demonstrated the kind of first step to what we had figured out with this content, this basically infinite content distribution team of AI agents. So we showed you basically an AI clone of myself giving a little quick presentation on something. We took it a few steps further. We have an in-house developer currently building it out for us on N8N. So basically we have a system. So say you're somebody like me and Stefan in our niche, which is marketing, AI, business related topics. So we have an AI agent. First, it's a research agent. So it will go scan and scrape YouTube for all of the top performing videos, figure out what the topics, what kind of engagement these types of videos are initiating from people. Like, what are the topics that they're being covered on the videos? Like, what are they talking about in all of these different, topics? So marketing, business, AI. That agent then takes all of that information, feeds it into another agent that transcribes all of those videos and rewrites them automatically for you in your own speaking tone. Like you have an agent that's basically trained on how you speak, and you can, prompt it however you want to prompt it. Like, I want to sound this way or that way. It will transcribe those top performing videos, so you don't have to split test different video topics. You already know that these videos are going to go viral on YouTube based off what's already going viral. Then it takes those new transcriptions, sends it to another agent that has a clone of your voice that will clone your voice, basically saying what the new scripts are, sends it to another agent, which is what I showed last week. That is the AI twin of you, or the AI clone of you, that is now saying these scripts, and then it plugs into what the screenshot is showing here, where it distributes it across all of these different social media channels. So essentially what you have is like the ability to, without doing anything, like maybe even just prompting it, like saying, hey, start research now. That triggers the agent. It does the research on all the YouTube videos, transcribes them for you, says them all in your voice, says it all with your face on video as your clone, and then posts it for you on YouTube.
You have the
That's
ability to put it,
absolutely
you just have the ability to put it on a timer too. You could say every 3 days, go and
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
that's absolutely insane. So if you guys didn't see that AI clone of me last week, I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now to our other school community and the About Us video. So before you join that community, there's like a VSL page where you have to register to join the group. The About Us video on that is my digital twin, or my AI clone, that's basically saying the script that I gave it. But yeah, you can go ahead. I just wanted to drop that in there real quick.
Well, I appreciate that clarification. And we're actually working on something right now where we can add the digital twin to these Zoom meetings. So that's some crazy shit I want you guys to look out for here in the near future, where you're not going to know, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be kind of wild here in the near future. So the harsh truth about this though, right? I'm a marketer. I'm a visionary. I am not a technical person. So when I found out that you could do this, right? I was like, I'm gonna go and try to figure it out. But I realized quickly, that's not the way. You're gonna basically, the vision doesn't change, right? We're gonna be in this position where we can see where AI is going, right? The problem is it's moving so quickly. If you dedicate yourself to trying to learn some technology, you risk yourself being outdated within 6 months because things are changing so quickly. Only real people who can move and maneuver as quickly as things are changing are the developers who've been doing this stuff. Okay, so trying to learn and fidget around with the AI agents is not something that's conducive to making money or being speedy, right? And money loves speed. So we're not trying to build agents. That's not really where the money is. The real money is in the strategy, right? The biggest opportunity, like I said, ain't building them. It's identifying the roles on where agents are going to be most valuable. So the biggest bottleneck that we had when we found out about this was trying to even think in terms of like, okay, well, number one, there's no way that I could build an agent that just launches ads for me automatically, trained on my entire 25 years of experience, that knows my budgeting, that knows exactly how to scale, that can go out and launch ads on my behalf just by a prompt. Like, that's not possible, is it? Yes. Yes, that's possible. Right. So the biggest thing we had to uncover was the reality of what's happening. You know what I mean? At this point, if you're clicking a button on a computer, it can be automated and an agent can be trained on it. Okay. So the biggest opportunity is finding out where these agents are going to fit in and be of most value, right? So that's what we're doing for our clients. We help them pinpoint the most impactful use cases for the AI agents. We provide pre-built and custom templates for the agents. So if you have an idea that we haven't yet come across, like, we'll build it out and give it access to everybody, right? Along with the workflows, funnels, ads, training, support to implement all of this stuff seamlessly. You don't need to know anything about the tech, because our developer will take care of it for you.
And
Here's
part
what
of
I'm
so part of the thing that we do with the clients as well, and it's hard because once you go down this rabbit hole of AI agents, it becomes more and more clear how little you understand the processes in your own business. So like when we first hired our in-house developer that was building out these custom AI growth systems for these businesses, he would tell us to map everything out almost like a flow chart, and basically, step one to the process is this. This is going to trigger the agent. What is step two that connects to it? What is step three? What is step four? All the way through the end of whatever the output is that you want to have the agent achieve. And you have to think through a process in terms of a flow chart if you want to even conceptualize how you're going to build the agent in the first place, but especially if you're going to hire somebody to do it, or you're going to try and learn how to do it yourself. And so if you're doing it for a client, for example, so if you're going to sell these agents to somebody, one of the biggest things that we do when we're talking with somebody is like, okay, take us through, if you were to map out the internal customer journey for your system, from acquisition through fulfillment, from sales, marketing to onboarding and fulfillment. In that whole process, what is the biggest time suck, the biggest, most annoying part of that entire process? And then we wait for the client to think about it for a little bit. And then depending on who they are, what their industry is, for a local service-based business, it's like a dentist or a doctor's office. It's most likely paperwork, something revolving around paperwork, filing or categorizing paperwork, something like that. For a real estate agent, it may be finding property. If it's like an FSBO, for sale by owner, somebody that's focusing on the sell side, it could be scraping all these properties, finding out whose property is coming up to be foreclosed on soon, or something like that. A lot of research based stuff, right? So when you get somebody to tell you what the biggest time suck is in their business, in the process of their business, sales, marketing, or fulfillment, you inevitably will come across an AI agent, or you can think of an AI agent that can solve that problem, or a team of AI agents that can solve that problem. So that's the way that we go about building out the custom AI solutions for businesses and for clients.
Yeah, that's a whole nother agent actually, which listens to the video, transcribes it, um, goes ahead and offers
Yeah,
the
so
AI
now we don't
agent
even
solution.
have
And
to
then do
think
it.
of the custom AI solution now. We have an agent that listens to the Zoom call that says, okay, this is their business, this is their pain points, this is most likely the type of AI agent this person needs, and then it automatically sends them the email after they get off the Zoom call with us.
Yeah, so we don't even have to do that anymore. Um, Here's where I'll talk about us a little bit, brag really quickly. Why it would be logical to work with us is essentially, we've got proven results. Now, before we could automate all of this stuff, we were using it inside of clients' businesses, and so what we were doing is creating tools using AI. So as marketing guys, we were creating these marketing primers that had all of the information about our clients inside of there, the customer avatar, the exact programs, tiers, prices that they offer, diary entries of what their ideal customer profile would be writing at night, in a very fearful situation, that, trying to get out of this situation, right? Really, really in-depth marketing research that we would use to then create all ads. I haven't written an ad in over a year. And that's just because we use these tools. So now we're having agents do this automatically, but some of the results that we got with just doing this, not even really writing ad copy anymore, scaling businesses like Trevor's, he's got a Turo credit repair and funding business. Ty took that from zero to $120,000 a month in under 10 months using these AI systems, these automations, and some sales stuff. Then we have Serge Guattari. You guys might be familiar with Serge. He kind of was not into the AI thing. He thought it was a trend, and if you go back to some of his videos, you'll hear him talking bad about it and him trying to be a thought leader and all this stuff. He's completely wrong. Turned around, canceled what he was doing. Now is a completely AI focused offer, scaled from $300,000 a month to $1 million a month. Helping businesses sell this stuff to other businesses. And then we have 16-year-old Wyatt Roderick. We were able to take his business from $20,000 a month to over $100,000 a month. I mean, the majority of that growth happened in 60 days. They were kind of stuck at $30,000 a month before they brought Ty and I on, and then we kind of were able to help them scale over to $100,000 a month. And again, never wrote an ad for that company. Never really had to do much because we were using these tools to do all that stuff. So another reason, obviously, is we're providing everything here. There's no technical background that's needed. You're not going to have to learn this. The really only thing you need to do is be able to identify a problem or, look into your own business and see where you could use this. That's really all that's needed. But we provide you with everything else. It comes down to the templates, the tools, the agents, the training, all the way down to the ad copy that we use. When we had the pleasure of working with some of these people, we were also running ads for their partners. So I've scaled businesses inside of these Serge Guattari and Wyatt Roderick as far as their companies when they were just selling voice dialers. So we know the exact process to sell this. And again, there's no technical expertise required. So I've been going on and on about this. It's obvious that the time to act is now. It's not going to get any slower. It's moving right now. And it's like, okay, 2025 will be the year that you're going to hear a story about a business that lays off 100, 200 employees because they implemented these agents on Thursday night, and on Friday morning, the agents were working as expected, and they no longer needed half of their workforce. This is the year that we see that. Okay. So every day you wait, what you have to understand is that your competitors are just moving quickly. Okay. 1 second. I'm sorry. Like if you go to YouTube right now, you can see how fast the landscape is changing, right? It's growing at this rate that, again, we've never really seen anything like this, Okay. So you keep on sleeping and businesses are going to start growing, and you have the opportunity right now to take advantage of this. So if you're interested in any of this and you think that you might want to capitalize on this trend, if you think that you could do well in this industry, if you think that you have a need in your own business for something like this, I would just reach out. It'll be an hour deep dive going into your business, whatever your goals are. And then again, showing you exactly what we think, whether it's in your business or for your clients' businesses, or you want to start a business, right? What we think would be the best agents to go about that. And then full clarity on how do you stay ahead, right? This quote that I heard recently is Wayne Gretzky, greatest hockey player of all time. They asked him how he was so good. He said, well, I skate to where the puck is going, not where the puck has been. So how do you stay in front of the revolution? How do you go to where the puck is going instead of trying to stay back and again, figure these agents out on your own and then just kind of get left in the dust, right? So Ty, I think we'll maybe drop a link in the chat. You guys can go ahead, and book a call if you're
Yeah.
interested. If not, that's totally cool.
If you
Um,
guys
yes.
are if you guys are interested, there's a link here. I think we have a couple of the people on our team that are in this call, so you'll be speaking with some of them. But we can go through, and if anybody has any questions, I know Bree put something in the chat that, her company did something similar
Let me
with
see.
similar to what Klarna had done. And that's something that you'll see more and more stories of. And there was a story actually that came out yesterday. I posted it in our um, early adopters community that NVIDIA lost the most amount of money in a single day in the stock market in US history on Monday because there's a competitor to ChatGPT that came out over the weekend, Friday into Saturday and Sunday. And the
Well,
company is
they
called,
launched, yeah, they launched their reasoning model, their thinking model. I think they launched it on the 25th, but this new model just came out a couple days ago. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, it's called DeepSeek, and it's a Chinese-based company. But the reason, and this is in a testament to people's adaptability. So like America essentially had a monopoly on AI because so a lot of people don't get, what it takes to build some of these chips, like for these military drones, for these AI systems. There's only one company on the entire planet basically that can build these chips. And a lot of the pieces and components of these chips come from other American allies. So like Germany builds the world's smallest and thinnest mirror that goes inside of these chips that takes entire acres and acres of land and insane amounts of pressure, and this one company on the entire planet can build these little tiny razor thin mirrors that go inside these chips. And then there's another company that's in like Switzerland that does the magnet part of it or whatever. So long story short is there's this one company, NVIDIA, that builds these AI chips, and that's what ChatGPT, the military, CIA,
Training on them. Yeah.
NSA, they all use these chips to train these large language models, which is what ChatGPT is. And so that forced China and these little companies in China to get creative if they wanted to compete um, on the global scale with AI. So what they did is they open sourced everything. I'm way too stupid to understand exactly how they did it, but they open sourced everything and they essentially built a model at 90% cheaper cost than it took to build ChatGPT. So ChatGPT's most advanced model, it took, I think it was like 10 to 20 billion dollars or something like that in capital to build and train this the most powerful model to date that ChatGPT has. This little company, DeepSeek, out of China, that outsourced everything, built a competitor to that's most people to say is more powerful than ChatGPT's most powerful model, and they built that for $5.5 million. And all of these companies are investing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars to get to the most powerful LLM, large language model, when this company out of China outsourced or open sourced everything and did it for $5.5 million. And so anyway, that basically took the monopoly that NVIDIA had on these AI chips, and the stock market just absolutely demolished them on Monday. Like they lost, I think it was in the trillions of
Yeah.
dollars in
Well,
value
now
that
is
they
that like
lost.
the last I heard, it was down 15%, bro, since like yesterday, which is
Yeah,
insane,
so
right?
15% of Nvidia is like a multi-trillion dollar company, 15% of that. So they lost all of that in one day because this company out of China figured out how to do it through open sourcing the model. Um, but yeah, so stuff like that, you're going to see a lot more stories like that in 2025. Another thing is you'll see a lot more stories of entrepreneurs that build billion-dollar companies with no employees. So you'll have an entrepreneur that will build a company, it will go public, and he will become a billionaire and he'll have no employees, and it'll just be a team of thousands of AI agents that execute all the tasks
And you make a good point, Ty, because I wanna express to everybody here tonight that like what AI does for the human race is it allows us to do things that we could have never done before. So now have the ability to build $1 billion company, whereas that was reserved for tech smart dudes who were in Silicon Valley. That's no longer the case. It levels the fucking playing field like like you've never seen. So out of the $15.7 trillion expected, a million everybody on this call could make 5 million of that, and it would be a blip in what the potential is that we have here. And not only the potential, but just your ability now to become an engineer, your ability to become a marketer, your ability to become really any sort of, I mean, lawyer. I mean, on and on I can go, on and on, right?
And Bree said that so she gave a little bit of context. She said that they haven't, the company that fired a bunch of people at her business hasn't reached upper level management yet, but she's a operations manager, and we built a couple custom GPTs. That's a COO. We have basically an AI COO for our business that helps us SOP things out for us. Like if we're hiring a virtual assistant to take care of something, you need to give them very specific SOPs to tasks and stuff to follow. So we have a digital COO basically that helps us build out those SOPs. Bree, if you want, you can give a little context on like what it is that you do operations wise for a business. You can unmute yourself if you want.
Hey guys.
What's up?
I currently work for a big company. I still work for them, so I don't want to put them out. But they are part of like the shipping industry, similar to like Amazon.
Mm,
But I work for their e-commerce section. So they're building a bunch of like warehouses out here right now. I'm in Arizona. Um, and maybe I want to say starting last May, which was crazy because the current facility I'm at, they opened up back in February. Every week we would bring in like newbies, people from like the temporary placements as well. And it was like half temporary like people, and then the rest of the warehouse, like this warehouse is at least a mile long, is robots.
it's crazy.
And I want to say by was it July, maybe between July to August, I've seen over 500 people getting fired, and it's over the little smallest thing. Arizona's one of those like
Yeah.
states that's like they don't really have to give you a real reason, so they're coming up with the smallest things to fire people. And in our meetings, basically, like they're getting us more technology. They're talking about getting more robots and like I know like they're not saying anything about us, but I feel like soon it's gonna eventually get to a point where it's like they don't need none of us.
It's gonna touch everything. Yeah.
If I mean,
They
I've seen
won't
some
need
videos. I've seen some videos like it was this whole thing. Like I lost my job to AI, and it was like person after person after person after person after person explaining like they were upper management. They brought this tool in. They said, "Hey, start using this tool." Little did they know they were training their replacement, which is the
Yep,
AI agent. Because all you have to do is just deposit your knowledge into the agent one time, and that's it. You know.
yep. And also like they'll still track them. Like basically my employees, they'll track them versus the machines. And like they're
Right.
literally
And you
like,
can't. We can't
are
win.
you go as fast as this machine, like, and like that's what they're telling us in our meetings. If they can't go as fast, we give them a week, and then that week turn into they get a warning,
That's
maybe two
Crazy.
warnings,
That's
and then
fucking
they're out.
crazy.
So this is for
it's gonna
anybody else out there that's still working their 9 to 5. Like, definitely take this chance, guys. Get a part,
yeah.
join a
It's insane.
mentorship. Really take this stuff serious because these guys aren't lying. Me being an
Yes.
operations manager, like I make a good enough salary, but I definitely know it's not enough. Definitely won't ever be enough. Money is everything's going up for a reason, and it's not going to stop. So definitely take this stuff serious because it can happen to us next.
Yeah,
Facts.
there was a McKinsey and Company did a research analysis where they said conservatively by 2030, so in the next 5 years, a minimum of 50% of all job tasks in the United States, that's all job tasks in the United States, a minimum of 50% are going to get replaced and automated with AI and robots. To even think about that is absolutely insane.
We can't even fathom it. That's why, you're not, you can't fathom it, man. You can't.
And there's a small window that's rapidly closing right now for the next 6 months, 12 months, maybe, if we get very, very proficient with it. But there's a small window like this year where, if you can become one of the people that either trains the AI the bots, the AI, helps businesses integrate it into their current systems,
right? Consult them in what direction to go, right?
Yeah. Then you can position yourself in a way where you're not completely getting blindsided and screwed over by this whole shift that's happening. But like Bree said, it's coming, and it's scary.
And she touched on something that we didn't even talk about. If 2025 is the year of the agents, 2026 is the year of the robots integrated into society. Okay, so get ready for that. First humanoid robots are coming. We're living in a fucking movie at this point, but it's real and it's happening. And so, not only are these things going to be autonomously be able to do everything that we would normally do on a computer, but eventually, my daughter, my son, you think they're going to ever do dishes? They'll probably just have a robot arm in the kitchen that just automatically does the dishes, takes them out the dishwasher or whatever, cooks for them. Like all of these things that we do that requires any physical labor when it comes to like any dangerous things that humans have to do, all of that will be replaced by robots.
Also, people that are like Stefan's daughter's age, what's going to get real weird is when people start making these digital clones of themselves. Like me and Stefan are on kind of the forefront of all of this. But once it becomes more widely adopted and everybody's posting content with their digital clone, people that are Stefan's daughter's age, that are, preteen age right now, they're going to be watching TV and they'll see a lion or a tiger on the TV and they're not going to think they exist unless they see it with their own eyes, because everything's going to be AI to a point where unless a kid that's a child right now is growing up, they're going to think like that thing that's on TV isn't a real animal. Like that's an AI generated fake animal. Like unless they see it with their own eyes, things are going to get weird soon. So,
right. Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Anything they want to go through? Any businesses you guys have that we could do a breakdown on your offer and see how you can make it more efficient, scalable with some kind of AI growth system solution? Anybody? You can drop a question in the chat.
So I have a question. I am a hairstylist out of St. Pete, Florida, and how would that be like something to scale me as an individual?
So Erica, you're Megan's homie.
Yes.
Yeah, for you, I would say it would probably be something simple that would have to do with like customer acquisition. So it would be like an AI assistant that books appointments for you, or like if somebody calls in and says, "Hey, is Erica available at this day or this time?" The AI assistant has access to your schedule and to your calendar, and it can say, "No, she's booked this time, and this time, but you can do this time." And then they'll book it in for you.
Also have a knowledge base of all your services that you offer. So if someone wanted to know, it could intuitively tell them like, yeah, she offers, this, or this,
Right.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say, so I'm like a specialist, my niche is, gray blending, low maintenance color, blowouts.
Yeah,
so
so
like,
that it can be trained specifically on that,
okay.
And you just train it on the database and what that is, and then it'll just get better every time it has an interaction with a potential client.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of that would be pretty much autonomous. I mean, that's what we're doing. Let's say for like a dentist office, same thing, right? People are calling in. There's a bunch of different things that dentists offer. Maybe they need the root canal. Maybe they need just a filling. Maybe they want to just get their teeth whitened. Maybe they're doing veneers, right? same thing. Would be trained upon all of those services and be able to offer the one that's most beneficial, all the details, pricing, everything, you know. But good question. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to come for dinner next time you cook over there. I heard you were throwing down in the kitchen.
They weren't lying.
They weren't lying.
They weren't lying.
That's
I'll
what's
toot
up.
my own horn over here. Toot toot.
Anybody else have any questions? You can drop it in the chat or you can come off mute. If not, I think we got another like minute or two where we can hop off here.
Yeah.
Nope, nobody.
Why?
All right, cool. Well, for the people watching the recording, you'll get into it on the juicy part because once again, I forgot to press record until about a couple minutes, and Trevor's gonna have a conniption. But all right, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, once again, the link to book a call is up there if you guys want to jump on a call with us. We have our school community where we try to help people kind of cut through the noise. And because there's so many different tools and softwares out there, like me and Stefan do this for a living full time every single day. And we're still coming across things like, did you know this thing exists? Like, how did we not come across this in the past 4 months that we've been researching this? So that's what we kind of use the school community for, is like we help as we're learning a lot of this stuff, we transfer that knowledge over to you guys, and then we help dispel some of the hype and stuff that's around some of these other tools that really aren't necessary and it's kind of a waste of money. And we kind of just provide a lot of clarity and context around the stuff that is actually applicable and can actually be implemented into your specific situation. Or if you're an agency or you sell a service to other people, then how you can turn around and sell this to other businesses. But that is it. I appreciate you guys for hopping on.
Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it.
Yeah, y'all have a good night. Peace.